What's up, you guys? It's Amanda. I found a kitty outside. Hello. Hello. Hey. This is not how I wanted to start off the video, but hey, I made a friend. I'm pretty sure this is just a neighborhood cat. Are you gonna stay on me or no? Yeah? Okay, he's just gonna chill in my lap, so if you hear purring, it's a cat. So anyway, I wanted to make this video today because it is September 11th. And as we all know, 9/11 is a day of remembrance and a day of reflection and a day that has changed all of our lives, and especially with the things that have been going on recently with all of the natural disasters and stuff like that. It's even more relevant of how much of a time that we need to really stay together as a country and to really become one and to help your brother out if you see need. And I kind of want to talk about my experience on 9/11 when it happened in 2001. I was in 4th grade, and I remember I was in school when it happened, and I remember my teacher turning on the news, and we all just watched in devastation as things were happening. And I remember there was so much commotion inside the halls that day, and we were all just confused on what was going on. I remember, even though I was in 4th grade, still not really realizing everything that was going on. I was just in so much shock too, like, how could this be happening? And this is so close to, where I live. I live in upstate New York, which is about my location is like 4.5 hours from New York City, so it was very, very close. And I remember coming home and my mom was sitting on the couch just watching the news, just in shock and awe. And at the time, one of my aunts was working at the Pentagon. She worked for the government, and it was a crazy time because I remember my mom was trying to contact her, to call her to make sure that she was okay and she got out safe. Thankfully she did, and she's still here with us. But it was a scary time. I just remember watching the news for weeks and weeks after that, and just in shock and awe, and listening to different conspiracy theories, and really understanding what a terrorist attack was. Because if you did not know, which I don't think I've ever shared this, I am Arab. My dad is from Jordan, and he came to this country when he was 12. And I remember kind of not really knowing what all of that meant. At the time, I loved my culture, and I was so very involved in my Middle Eastern culture, and I still am, but it was a completely different experience for me because even though I wasn't Muslim, people looked at me a lot different afterwards, especially classmates who knew that I was Arab, and with their families talking and stuff like that. I mean, I never was like harmed or attacked racially, but it definitely made me think like, oh my goodness, this stuff is not just happening here in my homeland of America, but it's also happening back in my dad's home country. Everybody was still in shock and awe there. And the one really amazing and important thing that my parents taught me, not only just to never see race or color, but to never judge or stereotype somebody for their religion. And as a Christian, it was just kind of dawning on me at that point, especially, being a 4th grader, like not really, fully knowing everything about the world and how people view other people. But it made me really second guess everything. Like, are there people that I know that, are involved in this whole thing? And is it just, an Arab thing? And I remember my dad telling me, no, this is, this is one of those things of where it was a bad group of people doing a bad group of things. And it's not, you should never, blame Muslims or hate Muslims because what was going on in the Muslim culture. And it was, a group of terrorists that were involved in this. And it was sad and scary. And I remember never judging Muslims even after that, but I just thought how sad for the people that are Muslim, that aren't involved in this, but are getting a bad name. And to this day, not even just Muslims, but people that are Middle Eastern will get judged. And I know, because being Middle Eastern, people will automatically assume that I'm Muslim, and I'm not. I'm Christian, like I said. But I remember being looked at differently at certain times in my life after that, and people, automatically assuming that I was Muslim because I'm Arab, and then I'm a terrorist because I'm Arab / a Muslim. And I'm like, no, I'm not even close. Not even close. But it just made me really realize how ignorant people can be, because they automatically assume, oh, one race is clumped into one religion, and that's how everybody in the Middle East acts, that's how everybody is. And it's like, no, it's not. It's groups of people that can be harsh and mean and do awful things. But we shouldn't judge the entire race or the entire religion because of certain people that do awful things. And even as a Christian, people will judge me because of the awful things that other Christians have done. But it's not all Christians that are bad. It's not all Muslims that are bad. There are just specific people who are brainwashed into thinking these evil thoughts and doing evil things. And I just kind of, want to remind people, if you don't get that people can be mean and people can be awful, but people can also be really good, and people can do amazing and wonderful things in this world, even if other people are bad. And it's in those awful times that you see where people's true colors are and how wonderful this country can be. And even though a lot of people hate on America, to this day, there are Americans that hate on America, I love my country because at the end of the day, we all come together and we all support each other and we help out our neighbors. And this time of hurricanes in both in Florida and in other states, and then with the floodings in Texas, there were people all over coming to help and just lending a hand, whether it's giving money, giving time, traveling, and going and just helping these people out and just spreading good information and love and hope, because there's always hope no matter what. There's always hope. And even though times can seem dark and can seem rough, and you just think, what is this world coming to? Why are all these bad things happening? Just remember that there is always hope, and there are always good people in the world. For every bad person, there are 100 great people that are going to be willing to come and help out in times of need. And I just hope that everybody takes, today as a reflection and a memory on the people that we have lost, but also the heroes that stood up and that are still alive today, who fought for this country, not only in the Middle East, but here at home, saving the lives of the people who are still here, which is absolutely amazing. And those are the people that we need to remember, and we need to commemorate and just love. Just love. So if you get anything out of this, love your neighbor, be kind to people, and always have hope, no matter what, and no matter how bleak the situation can be. There's always hope. All right. Have a good day, guys. Bye.